Alright, this video is going to go over the solution to while loop practice method repeat word. So when we want to write a while loop, remember we have four things we want to consider. We want to consider what's being repeated, when do we want to start our loop, when do we want to stop our loop, and how much do we want to change each time. Now I want to repeat this word and I want to print it multiple times. So if I knew how many times ahead of time I wanted to repeat it, I could just print the word. In this case, it would print one time, here 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. But that's not going to be really useful because I don't know ahead of time how many times n is. And so in this case, I'm going to need a loop. And so I'm going to put this print line statement inside a while loop. And so I have to figure out basically the other pieces. Well, first I want to create a counter that counts how many times I've done it. Now, before my loop, I'm going to say that I've done it 0 times, okay? Which hopefully makes sense. Now, some people would want to start at 1, which is perfectly acceptable. Now, if I'm starting at 0 times, I'm going to continue while my count is less than n. Now, this may seem counterintuitive, right? If I want to do it 5 times, why wouldn't I say less than or equal to 5 times? And the reason is I'm starting at 0, and that's why I've chosen to say count is less than n. So anyway, I'm going to print the word, and then after I've printed it, I'm no longer done it 0 times, I've done it 1 time. Or after I've done it 1 time and print it again, that'll be 2 times. So to show that I want to increase my count, I'm going to say count plus plus. So I have my initial value. This is my test that basically says as long as you haven't made it to n yet, you're going to print the word, and then we're going to say, okay, we've done it another time. Now, obviously, count and all those other things don't matter. So let's see if we're right. So Bob printed 3 times, Frog printed 4 times. Let's go up to the main method and see if that's how many times it was supposed to be. So I was supposed to repeat word, I was supposed to repeat Bob 3 times, Frog 4 times, and test this 0 times, which you'll notice I don't see any test this, which is good because it was supposed to print 0 times. So coming back to this method, remember you have your initial value, you have your condition, as long as count is less than n. So I want to stop when I've done it n times. So some people might want to say other options besides this, like I said, starting at 1 and doing less than or equal to n. And some people might want to say count is not equal to n, which if you're starting at 1, so basically you would want to play around with it, but I typically start counting at 0 and then just do less than how many times I want. All right, so that's one sample solution. It's not the only solution. If yours printed Bob 3 times and Frog 4 times, then your solution is correct.